My name is Felicia Tucker, and I am doing my final video for culture diversity. And I am a junior work social work major. So the first question is, what have you learned about culture diversity? What I have learned about culture diversity is just that there are a lot of different people in this world, and depending on your profession, you have to um, what's what I'm looking for? You have to adapt to it and be willing and open to learning about different cultures, uh, because you might encounter someone who isn't from the same background as you or does not have the same ethnicity of you. So you kind of have to learn how to work with them and adapt to them as well. Um, Something else that I learned about culture diversity is that it's okay to be open to things and you don't have to be biased of things. Like, just because um, someone may say, like, oh, that those people, they do X, Y, and Z, you don't have to characterize each person of that ethnicity with the things that you were told or the things that you have heard about that certain ethnicity. So, other than that, I think that's. I also learned about like a lot of different other social policies in culture diversity, and I believe. Oh, and I also learned that everybody, like what we view as not being normal in other cultures, they obviously view us the same way as well. And I also learned that there are actually a lot of different cultural. I just can't say that word. Cultures who do not believe in God. Like, they believe in a higher being, but they don't believe in, like, for example, my higher being. Like, I believe in God and Jesus Christ. They may not believe in that. The next question is, how will you implement the concepts into your profession? Well, in cultural diversity, when you deal with people who are not in the same ethnicity group as you or have the same cultural background as you have to do your research just so you know what you're dealing with, because there may be things that you shouldn't really be saying or you shouldn't really be doing. So I will implement research for cultural diversity. I will implement the knowledge that I've learned from cultural diversity. Um, I will implement just just knowing how to do my own research on different cultures, and um, I think it's important to do your research so that the client, if they don't have the same background as you, they will feel comfortable talking to you, and they off jump may not feel like you can relate to them if you're not the same ethnicity as them or if you don't have the same culture as them. So you want to make them just feel as comfortable as possible. Um, Anything else I can implement? Probably. I think that's pretty much it for what I can implement into my profession. The next question is, how have your perception shifted since taking this course? Well, before taking this course, I wasn't really that open to learning about different cultures, but being that I had to come to class and that's pretty much everything we normally talked about, I obviously had to sit there and listen and adapt. I had this mindset where I felt as if black people as a whole just have it bad. Like, we have to work 10 times as harder. We just have to do everything 10 times as harder. And I felt like there was no other race out there that had it harder than us. And honestly, my mindset is still kind of there. But at the same time, like, I have learned to really see that there are other ethnicities who go through some of the things that we go through as black people as well. And it's okay to not be like so judgmental, or it's okay to not think something of somebody just because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity. I've never been like a racist person or anything like that, but I do believe in white privilege. And I still think that black people have to work 10 times harder. And it's not fair, but it's life. But I can say that the question is, my perception shifted. I'm no longer as like judgmental of someone of a different race. Um, I no longer like think about certain things that I used to. Like if I would see someone who is, I don't I don't know what they're called, but um, people like joke around and say, "Oh, they make the bombs." Like if I see someone of that ethnicity, I no longer think that, because I mean, it's really just not fair. Just like if a black person were to go into a store, like a beauty supply store, more than likely we're gonna get followed because we're black, and that doesn't make me feel good. So I just shifted my perception of how I view different people of different ethnicities, and I shifted my perception to have like better thoughts of people who aren't like me, who aren't black or African American. The last question is, what is a component of the course that you think will personally benefit you? I think a component of the course that will personally benefit me was just learning about different cultures in general. Like we had an assignment where we all I don't know, I don't remember if it was we were talking about different countries or different ethnicities. I don't remember, but um I think that was a strong component, actually sitting there and learning different things about different cultures, different ethnicity, different people. That's going to really help me out in my field, in my profession. I want to be a CPS worker. Well, I want to be a child therapist, but when I graduate, I plan on being a CPS worker. So I know that I'm going to encounter a lot of different clients, especially with like at home visits and things like that. So just kind of already having some background information, because honestly, before this class, I've never felt like I needed to sit down and learn about different cultures or different ethnicities or different people. Like that just never came across my mind. So the fact that I already have some background knowledge, and now that I know how to or what to look for when I research or how I can research things, it'll definitely help me out in my field. So overall, I think the strongest component was just having to actually sit there and be forced to learn about different cultures. Like it's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to feel how I feel, but regardless of my personal feelings, I have to learn that to like to keep them to the side and just not be biased at all. Like never be biased over somebody because of things you may have heard about their race or their culture. But yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching my video.